function. The definition for function is domain is paired with exactly one element of the range y, where domain is your x. And we put that in parentheses to remind us that domain does in fact mean x, and our range does mean y, just to help us remember that. So a neat little way that we try to remember what a function is or is not is we use people on a bus example. So for example, our little x looks like a little person, and these are people with jersey numbers. So there's 8, 2, 5, and 7. Then we have our range. Our range is the bus stations, 10, 14, 20, and 18. So we think, is it physically possible for jersey number 8 to get dropped off at bus station 10, jersey number 2 to get dropped off at bus station 14, and jersey number 5 to get dropped off at bus station 20, jersey number 7 to get dropped off at bus station 18. So yes, it is physically possible, therefore it is a function. So now let's look at a graph. When we look at the graph and you see how it's a squiggly line, it doesn't always have to be a squiggly line, but we use a vertical line test. And so we'll create a vertical line, and we'll run that vertical line all the way through our graph. So we'll run it, stop, 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 all the way through, and make sure that nowhere at one point does that graph ever cross that vertical line in more than one spot. And so right here, it looks slightly vertical, could be questionable, but we didn't mean for that to happen. We didn't want it to cross in more than one spot. So as we run our vertical line through, that squiggly line, this one right here, that didn't look any better. As I trace it out, there we go. Let's do the purple. That purple line never crosses that green vertical line in more than one spot. Okay, so now let's look at what is not a function. Again, we're still with the people on a bus, the little x, and then we're with the bus station, the y. So we're going to highlight those are the colors that we've used before. So this one's yellow and this one's blue. Jersey number 8 goes to 10, 2 goes to 14, 5 goes to 20, 7 goes to 18. But is it physically possible if jersey number 8 got dropped off at 10 for the bus to have left, and then jersey number 8 to get dropped off at 16? And then you think, no, it is not, so therefore this is not a function. Now let's look at the graph. And we're going to use our same green vertical line that we used before, and we're going to bring it down. And we run it down, and we see, oh, that circle crosses that vertical line in 2 spots right there. 1, 2. Okay, and then we're going to run the vertical line again. And then you see that it continues to cross that vertical line in 2 spots. Therefore, it fails the vertical line test. See, it crosses in 2 spots. So this is not a function. So it fails the vertical line test. And then we'll look at relations. Relations is or can be graphed as a point or a set of points. We can also think of relations as a relationship. We need the x and the y to have a pair. When we have the x and the y, we can graph it on the xy coordinates. And so that checks out. We're able to graph it. When we have a set of coordinate points, we have x comma y right here, we have x comma y right here, and we have x comma y right here. Therefore, we do have relationships, we have pairs, and we're able to graph it on an xy coordinate plane. So we can have one relation, or we can have many relation. Either way, as long as we have an x and a y, we have a relation. Just take note that whenever we talked about domain and range previously, when we write domain and we write 2, 3, 4, these are not a relation because we only have x values. In order to have a relation, we have to have x and y.